Hello, and welcome to the Naked Rooster Garage. My name is Ron. My disclaimer is that I'm an old, senile, disabled, half-crazy person. I may not remember the correct terminology, and I may say something wrong. My thought train might get derailed. I can be long-winded at times. I try to break things down so that even beginners can learn.
I need a rotor, and I need a set of brake pads. And here's a piece of advice for you. Take it or leave it. It's just advice. It's free. It's not costing you anything. Okay? Anytime you can buy a part that has a lifetime warranty, do it. I get most of my parts from AutoZone. I've never had an issue with the parts. I know some people like O'Reilly's. Some people like Napa, okay, or some other auto parts store, and that's fine. That's fine. We all have our own opinions, and I can respect your opinion, and I hope that you can respect mine. I've never had a problem with. Well, let me rephrase that. I can count on one hand how many times I've ever had a problem with a part from AutoZone. I'm not affiliated with AutoZone, but I just have like 50 pages of vehicles listed under AutoZone from all the parts. But my point being is, anytime you can get a lifetime warranty part, whether it's a rotor, I think they're 1 year now on the rotors. They used to be lifetime, or a caliper, or brake pads, especially brake pads. Do it. It costs you a little more than the cheaper brand with a 90-day or 1 year warranty. But here's the thing, okay? I know I've replaced these before, and since I do most of my shopping at AutoZone, I know that I got the brake pads from there. If you buy a lifetime warranty part, as long as you own the vehicle, you have that lifetime warranty on that part. So, what does that mean? I paid a little more for these brake pads, and what I do, okay, and you don't have to do it this way, but what I do is I go buy a new set, and then I take the old one back and get my money back, because it's lifetime warranty parts. They register the new warranty for the new part, and then under your account you have two of the same part numbers. So when you take the old ones back, they refund you the money from one of the part numbers, doesn't matter which one, okay, and you still have the warranty in the computer system. Okay, I have literally changed my brake pads when both of them still had that much meat on them, and I just buy a new set, take the old ones back, get a refund. The reason I'm saying this is because in the long run, if you plan on keeping a vehicle for a while, you end up saving yourself quite a bit of money because you only pay for it once. Me, I don't really get rid of vehicles. My wife kind of hates that, but anyhow, I've got vehicles that I put warranty parts on in '96, and if anything ever goes wrong with them, I'll take them back and get a new one, get my money back. Won't cost me anything more other than the labor of doing it. The easiest way I found is just buy the new part, same part, warranty part, whatever, and then take the old one back after you get it off, because most people will not take their brakes off and then take them in if they got a lifetime warranty on it, and then get new ones. They'll buy the new ones and put the new ones on and take the old ones back. Anyhow, enough rambling about that. So I already know I'm going to have to replace the rotor and the brake pads. All right, so I'm going to have to screw this rotor in. This is a little tool I got from Harbor Freight. And it looks like one of those pieces to a Chinese puzzle. but it you actually put a ratchet extension in here, or a socket extension in here, and put your ratchet on it, and you got to find the correct one that fits in here. You got to find the right one that fits in there, because the ones that have the grooves in it actually screw in. Found that out the hard way, so I'm telling you that now, so you don't have to learn the way I did. It cost me a new caliper. Anyhow, they actually screw in, they don't press in, and I put a C-clamp on there and an old brake pad, and I torqued that sucker down and pushed it in there and broke it. So, lesson learned. My lesson learned hopefully will be your lesson learned. Anyhow, you got to screw it in. And these little tools like this are for different makes and models of vehicles. You just have to find the right one that fits in there. Okay. I talk to myself sometimes too when I'm doing work like this. Oh. Okay. Finally getting it to turn here. Hopefully I can get it to turn enough to go in. And yes, the struggle is real. There we go. I think what happened in this case is, as you can see from the pad, I think this piston came all the way out and got stuck. Okay, so I'm getting close. Trying to see if there's a bigger peg, but there's not. So I use what I got here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now, one thing I should point out, you will find resistance when you're screwing this piston in, because you're pushing the brake fluid back up into the reservoir. If I took the reservoir cap off, it'd probably be a little bit easier, but I'm too lazy to do that. I'll just make it work with what I got. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. So, I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got it pretty much pushed all the way in. Actually, I think that probably is all the way in. Alright, so the other thing I got to do here is I got to figure out why. See if I can pull you over here. Alright. As you can see, this one slides okay. Alright. This one don't slide. So, I'm hoping that I can just put a pair of pliers on, or vice grips or something, and be able to twist it, loosen it up, and then maybe it'll start moving around again. If not, then I will probably have to get one of those. And I don't really want to do that. Like I said, I try to save as much money as I can. I don't replace stuff normally unless it absolutely needs it. We will see, because it looks like the rubber booty popped off. There's a little groove here. This rubber booty clips over, like you saw up here. I don't know how well you can see that. Right where my thumbnail is there, there's a groove that your little rubber boot's supposed to fit over. Keeps the water and moisture out of there, because what happens is, if it's not on there, you get moisture in there and you get corrosion, rust, whatever. So I'm hoping that's not the case with that. Okay, one thing I want to point out. With disc brakes, you can normally change one side out in 10 minutes or less. Okay, I know this is a long video, but I'm trying to give knowledge that I know, or things that I know, trying to let you know as I go along, so I'm not getting to work as much as I am talking. And that's okay. Like I said, these videos are for basically for beginners on stuff like this. Might not have the knowledge that everybody else does. Okay, so got to get my vice grips here, and oh man, that's not looking good. Biggest thing is I got to be careful that I don't break this thing, because it would be kind of bad. Not good. Not good. And the reason being is pretty rusty. So couldn't turn it. Try one more time here. Try not to break the end. Try not to break the end of it. And yes, the struggle is real. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, let's go over here. Try it this way. Okay, so that's not working. So I'm gonna have to try something else here. Okay, so I'm gonna try a couple other things here. This is a brass drift, or I believe it's called a drift. And it's a softer metal, so it doesn't mark up things as much as a regular chisel does. So I'm gonna try very carefully. I might have to get a different hammer here to get a different hammer. Alright, I may end up having to soak this down with some kind of penetrating oil. I don't know how long this has been like this, but apparently it's been a while. Okay. I don't like to use this one, but I'm going to try it anyhow. Okay. So this is a problem. Well, you know, I wish they'd use the same bolts on their same sections, same size. I mean, it'd be so much nicer. So anyhow, the caliper bolt here was a 14 millimeter, and the caliper bracket I'm cheating. The caliper bracket is a 13 mil. Okay, so this one might be. These probably haven't been off since they put them on at the factory. Yeah, I know I could grab a ratchet and it'd be faster. Probably will, since I got my ratchet there. Just grab a socket. So, most maintenance things on a vehicle you can do with just a decent socket set and a set of wrenches. Every now and then you run into where you need a specialty tool like this thing right here for screwing in the caliper piston. I think it was like $5-6 at Harbor Freight. Biggest thing is, if you buy something like this, put it where you know where it is. I have a little drawer bin that's just brake tools. You could take a little Ziploc bag, write on there what it is, put it in your toolbox. You can put a tag on it, but the tag usually gets in the way. Alright, so that one's loose enough. Come out of there. Yep, struggle is real. Getting any looser or what? I mean, it's getting loose, but it's not getting easier to unscrew and get it up. actually feels like it's getting tight again. Okay. Get out of here and get some leverage. I actually do make wrenches that are longer. I just don't have a set of them. I should be getting closer anyhow. Seems like it. Okay. Yep. Okay. See, these things actually do come out. You can actually put grease in there and clean them all up and stuff like that. But I don't know how well you can see that, but it's been rusted, corroded. I mean, some water got in there. And being that it's on the bottom, and you get the road salt and grime coming up there. Tapping on this thing to see if I can maybe break it loose. The problem is when you use steel against aluminum, you really do get a lot of corrosion in there. I mean, just the least amount of moisture can cause it to corrode. So basically, after I turned the camera off, I decided to try and get the guide pin out of this side. It was seriously corroded and rusted in here. I fought with this thing for a long, long time. One of my buddies came over, and it took both of us to working at this thing to get this thing out. I mean, I literally tried everything. I put it in a vise, this part here in the vise, and tried to hammer this down. Wasn't budging. I sprayed it down with some penetrating oil, let it sit for a little bit. Tried to turn this. Nothing. After my buddy came over, between the two of us, we actually managed to muscle it out. And if you can see right here, this is where I was hammering it, so I hope I didn't burn these threads up too much. I'll be able to fix them. But my point on that is, if you have to do something like that, be very careful and try not to hit on the hole. I was hitting over here on the edge, so I think the threads will be all right. Anyhow, This bracket alone here is like $35. And as I've said several times, I try to save as much money as possible and reuse the stuff that I can. The problem was, and you couldn't really see it in the last video, but there is like a groove here that this rubber fits over. And if this rubber is not over the groove like this, what happens is moisture gets in here and corrodes the pin in the hole, and trust me, it is a pain to get out. Anyhow, I did manage to get it out. I also figured out or remembered what this was called. It's called a guide pin, and it actually guides your caliper back and forth is what it does. So anyhow, ended up, after I got it out, and it took probably an hour and a half, but ended up getting it out so I can actually reuse this. I cleaned up the inside of this as much as possible. Took a little wire brush, ran down in there and shot some penetrating oil down in there and just kept trying to clean it. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but as you can see, the pin will slide in and out now. Got that done. I went to the hardware or to the auto parts store, and I ended up getting the rotor, even though it wasn't the same part number as what I looked up. I'm hoping it's the same rotor. I guess some of these cars have the emergency brake built into the rotor itself inside of here. On mine, it's actually attached to the caliper. So hopefully this one will work. It appeared to be the same, and once I get this off, get the rotor off, the old rotor off, I'll be able to tell more. Anyhow, I went ahead and bought new guide pins. Got all the brake hardware and the pads. Probably only changed this side today because I have to work today, and basically I need this car. And this goes back to what I said before. It's fun working on cars, but when you have to do it because it's your primary vehicle, sometimes it can be frustrating. Especially in this case, like where this was stuck.